Hi guys, I'm here today with Candace Buckner. She covers the Wizards for the Washington Post. In addition to being an accomplished reporter and very talented, she's also a shining example and inspiration for women in sports media. So happy to have her here. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks for that.
The Wizards have been without John Wall for a few weeks now. He had minor knee surgery. Is there any timeline for him to come back? Is he expected back at least before playoffs?
Yeah, it should be before playoffs for sure. We were talking off camera, but you brought up this point that in All-Star, he kind of surprised me when he said, the team is doing good, and it's a good thing that they're doing so well because that allows me to take my time in rehabilitation. And I asked him for a prediction because he's pretty good at this stuff, knowing his body. And at that point last week, he had just gotten off crutches, and he had not started doing any running whatsoever besides being on an elliptical machine or like an Ultra G where it's anti-gravity and you're not putting all your weight on it.
So not full weight-bearing stuff.
Yeah. Long answer short, I don't know if he's going to hit that. I really doubt he's going to hit that 6-week window because it was 6 to 8 weeks.
Right.
And it may be closer to 8 and maybe even outside of 8 because he dropped a little nugget of it could take longer than the projected timeline.
How have they fared without him so far?
Thomas Satoransky was pretty much out of the rotation for most of the season, but then he's thrust as a starter, and he's been really good, not just stabilizing the starting unit, but also contributing. He's been aggressive. He scored 25 points against Chicago Bulls. He's been a facilitator, so he's balancing being an aggressive scorer at times. He could probably be a little bit more, but also just a guy who's a caretaker of the offense. He doesn't commit too many turnovers, and he finds guys. So that's always good.
Well, it's a perfect example. We hear all the time Brett Brown say that, guys need to stay ready. All of the Sixers are always saying it could be the next man up mentality whenever something happens. And this is the perfect example of something like that happening.
Right.
There's been a lot of jockeying for position, especially today. The Pistons lost, the Bucks lost, the Cavs lost.
Yeah.
So the Eastern Conference, not only is it tight, but now it's just getting tighter. How do the Wizards seem like they're dealing with that? What is Scotty Brooks' mentality with how things are working out in the East?
Yeah, I think they all know they have a very tough March, and they have yet to really capitalize on their home court advantage as they did last year. But they were on this great run. That loss to Charlotte the other day, that's going to come back and bite you because those are losses they have piled up all season long. Losses to bad teams. No offense to teams who are under 500, but the Wizards, even without John Wall, they should have enough to beat the Charlotte Hornets at home.
Yes.
So those losses like that, that's going to come back, and you're going to be like, why? Why couldn't we just win 4 or 5, maybe 6 of those, and you're looking at a solid 3 or 4 seed. But they know it's a tough sled, and they always seem to come back and make up for those bad losses. So I would predict that you'll see a much better Wizards team tonight.
And speaking of tonight, against the Sixers have 2 out of the 3 games they beat the Wizards now. So if they win this one tonight, they're going to own that tiebreaker come the end of the season if it comes down to 1 or 2 games.
Yeah.
So what are you expecting to see out of the Wizards tonight, knowing that they have to make up for those 2 losses?
Right. Again, much better effort because, the 76ers, of course, as you know, they're surging. So if it happens to be like, okay, they get to the end of the season and they're looking at each other both for the 4 seed and the Wizards fall to the 5th, they do not want they don't want to go play the 76ers in the first round with home court advantage. I don't care what they would say. They do not want to go to Philadelphia in that crowd against that team that plays so well in front of that crowd.
You hear this, Philly?
And have that first round playoff series. So they definitely need tonight's game, and I would expect Brad Beal to play like the all-star that he is, and maybe somebody like like a Otto Porter can step up.
All right, guys. Thanks so much to Candace Buckner. You can read her stuff in the Washington Post. I'll put her Twitter handle on the screen after this. And yeah, it'll be somewhere. It'll be here, or it'll be on a black screen. It'll be something. It'll be somewhere. Sarah Todd from the Philadelphia Inquirer, Philadelphia Daily News, and Philly.com. You can follow me at NBA Sarah. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Sarah.